Filling out the space between the smaller tel'tak and the larger hatak, the Goa'uld was a mid-sized, multi-purpose assault and support vessel. Its primary role was heavy fire support for planetary invasions, but it also had ample internal space for both troops and cargo. Despite sharing the same central pyramid design of other Goa'uld vessels, it was much closer in form to the sleeker tel'tak, with a curved aft face and elongated saucer merging with the base of the pyramid. The Al'kesh was also the only Goa'uld ship to have visible engines, with 2 on each flank of the craft, giving it excellent flight performance, both in and out of atmosphere. For extended range, they were also equipped with a hyperdrive. Mounted above the nose of the ship was a prominent bridge, whose internal design was similar to that of a hatak, with control systems matching those of a tel'tak. However, this bridge presented a significant weak point when faced with a skilled opponent, and any shot that disabled the bridge effectively disabled the entire vessel. While the ship was ideally operated by 12 crew, it was possible for only a single person to pilot it, with a second controlling the weapon systems. Within its spacious interior, the Al'kesh could either carry cargo or up to 50 personnel, and was frequently used by the Goa'uld as a landing craft, directly deploying Jafar to the surface. Each vessel also had transportation rings installed within one of the cargo bays, used for rapid site-to-site movement of personnel and cargo between ring-equipped ships or from ship to surface without needing to land. For their primary role as a ground strike vessel, each Al'kesh was armed with a ventrally mounted dual staff cannon turret. This could also be used to engage flying targets or even other ships while in space, though each craft was generally escorted by death gliders for these purposes. Unique amongst the Goa'uld fleet was the ability to drop plasma charges from the underside of the vessel. These powerful weapons were used for surface bombardment and were particularly effective against the subterranean bases of the Tok'ra, a group of symbiotes and their hosts who opposed the brutal regimes of the System Lords. Shockwaves from the plasma charges could easily penetrate deep into the ground and dealt significant damage to these crystalline tunnel networks. Defensively, the ships had standard Goa'uld shields, but these were far less effective than those present on the larger hatak motherships. Al'kesh were also equipped with cloaking devices for surprise attacks, and both systems could be extended over nearby objects to protect or conceal them respectively. These ships were used by the System Lords as support vessels in their fleets, and as a linchpin for planetary assaults, softening up defences and paving the way for dedicated transports. Al'kesh were also commonly commandeered by the Tauri, Tok'ra and others who opposed the Goa'uld, either for direct use as a combat vessel or as a transport. One such craft, stolen by Colonel Jack O'Neill and Teal'c, ended up having its hyperdrive removed and transplanted into the stranded Tauri ship Prometheus after its own Nequadria-based drive destructively overloaded. It was also possible to upgrade Al'kesh with Asgard technology, as was the case with one that Osiris, working on behalf of the mysterious Anubis, had in orbit around Earth. Osiris was using this invisible ship in conjunction with Asgard beam transports in order to surreptitiously influence Daniel Jackson. Osiris was captured, but the craft remained cloaked in space. Some months later, the Trust, a shadowy organization hell-bent on protecting Earth from alien influence, gained control of the ship through Osiris's confiscated hand device. They then stole the SGC's Stargate with the intent on using it to launch attacks on Goa'uld-controlled worlds with missiles loaded with symbiote poison. Despite Prometheus managing to locate the ship, it managed to escape to hyperspace. It returns later, carrying a number of Goa'uld symbiotes for implantation, which had been used to take over the Trust from within, including Vice President Kinsey. These Goa'uld almost managed to trigger nuclear war between the US and Russia, but were foiled, and the Al'kesh was destroyed by Prometheus. After the fall of the System Lords, their ships fell into use by a number of factions, including the Free Jafar Nation and the Lucian Alliance. The latter was a coalition of criminals that moved to fill the power vacuum left by the Goa'uld. They did this through the use of a number of illicit methods, including genetically modified food such as the addictive Kassa, which they transported via space trains made up of an Al'kesh towing a series of cargo containers behind it. Despite being designed as a war machine intended to inflict terror and destruction upon the enemies of the System Lords, the Al'kesh proved to be a versatile addition to the fleets of those who utilized them, thanks to its ease of use and practical design. You can support Spacedock by joining our Patreon, where you can get our Space Fighter design reference book. Alternatively, you can support us directly through YouTube by giving us super thanks or by becoming a channel member. Thanks to our supporters, and thank you for watching.